Last time on Square Roots, after thieving a couple more MacGuffins, we finally got the eye, and then lost an eye. Bet you didn't see that coming. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed thief is king. Ha ha! I'll cut that. Wait, I'm not editing, am I? Am I editing? Hello and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. I am your host, Matthew Van Zant, joined this week by Jim Ratman. Thanks.
Hello.
I had to stop and think because I wanted to say Johnny Brandon. I wanted to say Jim Brandon.
It's hard not to think of Portal when you say Ratman.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There was that Ratman in Portal.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny, the Woodsy Lord Brandon.
Woodsy is Lord is doing a ceremony just like in Dishonored.
I think you got that backwards.
That's not how I remember it, Matt. What did we play
Okay.
first? Dishonored.
Anyway, this is the Classic RPG podcast where we play your favorite classic RPGs and sometimes other stuff these days because we've been around for like 9 years, one chunker at a time. And this is our fifth and final Thief episode. Thief,
Cool.
The Dork Project.
Thiefisode.
Or Thief Gold.
Yeah.
In my
Thief the Dark
case.
Project is a better name.
Yeah.
Why didn't they call it Thief the Dark Project Gold?
Why is the Dark Project a good name?
It sounds cool.
I feel like the
it's
Dark
alright.
Project might have been like a code name for the game while it was in development because you're supposed to use like darkness and stuff to get around in the game, maybe. Doesn't really have anything to do with the plot of the game.
Yeah, I
itself.
wouldn't call the Woodsy stuff a dark project, would you?
Yeah, I would actually. The project that the Woodsy Lord is trying to pull off is a dark project because he wants to destroy most of civilization. And that's dark and bad.
They should have called it
Oh.
Thief the Woodsy Coup.
Woodsy Coup?
That's a great name, Jim. You're very good at naming things.
The Woodsy Conspiracy.
Ooh, there we go. Or Thief Code Veronica.
Okay,
yes.
that's a good one too. What about Thief: Nemesis?
There we go.
Thief Pandora Tomorrow. I guess those, because I was thinking about how for my BioShock video, all these immersive sims are like by the same devs, but that's not entirely true because the Splinter Cells are pretty much immersive sims, right? And those are totally different groups of people working.
You
on
don't
those.
think that you wouldn't consider like the Skyrims and the Elder Scrolls immersive sims?
Yeah, they're pretty close, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, depending on what you think of immersive sim, those GTA games are pretty much immersive sims at this point.
They do have some stealth, but there's never.
No, I guess
any
you're right. There's
air
not a lot of
shaft.
options of like.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of options of. Well, but this is not an immersive sim. Thief. But I guess what you're saying is that these people went on to make a bunch of immersive sims.
Yeah, I mean, I would call this an immersive sim. It doesn't have as many different ways of doing things as the later ones do, but it's early. Like by the
Do
time
you think of an immersive sim as a game that but don't you think of an immersive sim as a game that lets you play your way? Whereas in this, you're pretty much just stealth. This is 100% a stealth only game.
yeah. I was playing System Shock 2 though, and it's by like the entire same team, and that is definitely. I know,
Yep.
genres are not solid. This was an early game, so they're still figuring out. Like, yeah, but it's part
I'd
of
go
the
so
whole
far, Johnny, as to
tapestry.
say genres are not real and are actually just marketing.
Oh, so our next RPG is going to be Outrun. The Sega Master System.
System Shock 2 is definitely, for me, I think the first immersive sim I played, because it was the first time that I was like, oh, I can like hack everything, or I can be stealthy, or I can play it like an action game, or I can be a psychic powers boy.
I played that for a couple hours last night. I got really into it because I was recording some footage for my BioShock video, since it's by the same team.
Yeah, I was real tempted to pick that instead of this, but I figure maybe since System Shock 1 just got that remake, maybe System Shock 2 will get one, and if so, then I would want to do it then. So
I don't know. Did
whereas
that
the
System
Thief
Shock
franchise
remake
feels
sell very
dead. Well, before we dive into our hot Thief talk, we've got to talk about some hot gaming news.
Ooh, do you guys have? I have a few announcements I'd like to talk about. I'm going to start with the most exciting one, to me anyway. The studio Housemarque that made Returnal announced their next game at Sony's State of Play. And it looks to be a lot like Returnal, but it stars noted Jim Crush Raul Coley.
Oh, yeah.
He looks pretty cool. It didn't show any gameplay, but it did. It showed like, you know, a cinematic of Raul Coley with a gun, wearing some kind of like future gear, waking up on a beach on an alien planet, and there's a big eclipse, and then a big monster comes out of the water and shoots stuff at him that looks like the stuff the enemies shoot at you in Returnal. And I guess the tagline for the game is "Come Back Stronger," which makes me think it's going to be kind of a roguelike like Returnal was, where it's got kind of a loop that you have to play through. Sounds pretty neat. Returnal is one of the... I never finished it, sadly. I kind of want to go back and do that, but man, is that game fun to play. It is so smooth and so satisfying, and you can run around the world so effortlessly, and your character just moves so fluidly. Good game. Good game, and I'm excited for this one. I don't think it comes out till next year, though, so we got a while to wait.
We've got some hot gaming news from that Sony State of Play.
Yeah.
A new game got announced.
Did it?
Was it a new Shinobi?
It was a new Shinobi.
Yeah, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, and it looks fucking rad.
Is it a side-scrolly?
It is, and it's got really, really nice looking graphics. Like, it looks really distinct and visually interesting, and
it's got like a hand-drawn look to it.
Yes.
Which looks pretty sweet.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance is by the team that brought Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, okay. Is that .mu? Maybe? Or Lizard something? I can't remember.
Lizard Cube.
Yeah, there you go. They did the Monster Boy ones as well, I think.
Yes, they did the Monster Boy Dragon's Trap remake, which I absolutely adored. And that is expected to be out in August 29th.
Well, the Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap remake and then Monster Boy.
You're right. It is Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap. Did they also do that Monster Boy game? Didn't those come out at basically the same time?
Oh, no. Well, I think that on Switch they did pretty close to each other, but the other, like originally that the Wonder Boy 3 remake came out like 2016 or something on PS4 because I played through it on there.
Monster Boy was not developed by Lizard Cube.
Oh, well, never mind then. I thought it was.
It was developed by Game Atelier.
Atelier.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It means like workshop. Ooh, if I get the code from G2A, it's $10 to get System Shock remake on PC.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's a good deal. Yeah, I've been waiting for that one to hit a big sale, and then I'll check it out. I never actually played the original System Shock myself. But when I've looked at it and thought about it in the past and kind of looked into it, it looks a little too different when what I really want is just more System Shock 2.
It definitely plays more... they both play more thiefy. Like, so that sort of era of game. But that enhanced version, I think, is a good... if you want to really feel like the old game, but have it work easily on your PC, that enhanced version's good. But I want to try this remake because it looks really cool.
Yeah, I want to try the remake. I'm not interested in trying to play the enhanced
it looks
version at this
great.
point in my life.
Remake has great visuals.
Anyway, we were done talking about that and talking about hot gaming news instead.
Sorry, Matt.
Speaking of hot gaming news, from that same thing, I think, we finally got a trailer and release date for the new Dork Project game. Dork?
Ooh, wait, Dark Project?
No, Dork
Thief?
Pictures.
Dork Pictures.
Oh. Different.
Yeah,
Jim, you're excited about that.
Directive 8020 is the new supermassive Dark Pictures game.
Can I just say that it looks cool and everything? That name is ass. I'm never going to fucking remember the numbers. Never, ever am I going to remember the random string of numbers.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what that is a reference to, but yeah, the game looks great. It looks like, Matt, you said it, the thing in space, which I think is kind of the central conceit of the game.
That is what the trailer makes it look like, is
Okay,
that it's
that
a thing
sounds
type of
pretty
monster,
cool.
but it's on a space station, so alien meets thing.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, I'm here for that. That sounds like a mix of two of my favorite things.
Yeah, and according to Supermassive, it is a 5-player co-op. It makes me think it's maybe like the movie night kind of co-op that they had with the Quarry. And they also said there are stealth mechanics in it.
Oh boy!
Yeah. Imagine
Well,
and like
Jim,
think
if
about
we're
how
playing together. I'm
think-
bad at stealth.
So am I. Think about how those games play, though. I can't imagine stealth being very much fun. Didn't The Devil in Me have a little bit of stealth in it, where you had to like slow walk through certain parts?
I never played that one.
But yeah,
I am reading that book, the one that's sort of a riff on the White City or Devil in the White City.
You're reading a book that's a riff on Devil in the
Well,
White City?
that the other way around. It's a true crime book about that H.H. Holmes.
Oh, about H.H. Holmes. Yeah, The Devil in Me, not a good game.
Oh.
Kind of a piece of crap, actually.
It's a cool, an interesting story. Not cool for the people that
but the
died,
way they
obviously.
adapt it is super dumb. Super dumb. Those Dark Picture games, hit or miss. I think if you look at all of them together, there's just as many decent ones as there are bad ones. Like Little Hope, bad.
Oh,
Devil
yeah.
in Me, bad. But House of Ashes, great. Man of Medan, pretty good.
Yeah.
The Quarry, which is not a Dark Pictures game, that game's pretty good.
So why
to
isn't
play
the
that.
Quarry a Dark Pictures game?
I don't know why. They wanted to do something different, I guess, but that one has great characters. David Arquette and Ted Raimi are in it, which is fun. Yeah, those are fun games, man. I'm excited for this new one. Directed
I am excited for
releasing in October.
That new Like a Dragon Pirates game, because it does have a Johnny Boyfriend in it.
Yeah, there was an
Samoa
announcement
Joe.
about that, actually. They announced that there's a demo coming for that. As of this recording, I think it's out, or maybe it comes out tomorrow.
So
But,
does Dave the Diver come into Like a Dragon, or does Like a Dragon come into Dave
No.
the Diver?
Ichiban went into Dave the Diver.
Oh, I'd love to see a IRL looking version of Dave the Diver
Yeah, that'd be
for
fun.
reasons.
For like jerking off reasons.
Not jerking off. Just like, I don't know, like you could see a hot woman and not start jerking
admiring.
off. Yeah.
No, I can't. Just spilled a bunch of beer on myself.
Oh, buddy.
They announced a new Five Nights at Freddy's game. Which, they announced a cool looking horror game that is, it was made completely with, claymation stop motion figures, called The Midnight Walk. And it looks really good. And it's going to be playable on PSVR 2 as well, which is pretty neat. It looks great. John, you should check out the trailer for that because it sounds kind of gimmicky and like it wouldn't play very well, but the gameplay in the trailer looks so fluid and cool and responsive, and it's like a first-person, like trippy horror game. It's kind of like Tim Burton-y a little bit. Looks really neat.
So annoyed that the triangle strategy on Oculus Meta Quest 3 is only on Meta Quest 3 and not on it.
That's annoying.
Because have you seen that? It's like you have a little. It's like AR, so you have a little play field in front of you. And I guess you can move your pieces and stuff.
That sounds amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
I'm still pretty steamed that new Batman Arkham game is still just sitting on the Meta Quest and I can't play it.
I wonder if they're going to be both our year like exclusives or if they'll never come to anything else.
I don't know. That would be a bummer though. There is a rumor going around that that studio, what's the name of that studio that does those Arkham games?
Is that Rocksteady?
That is Rocksteady. That they're
so they
working
did
on
that VR game?
Yeah, I believe they did. But there is a rumor that they're working on a new single-player Batman game. So that could be fun. Those Arkham games are good. I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch.
Yeah, I've been liking that. I know Rocksteady didn't make it. It was like Eidos Montreal or WB Montreal that made the Origins, but that one's pretty good.
Yeah, that one is pretty good. Wait, did Rocksteady do Arkham Knight? Or no, did they do, what's the one that everybody hated that had like Robin and Nightwing?
They did that. Wait, no, Gotham Knights
Origins, no,
Gotham
a different
Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I think Gotham
Somebody
Knights
else did
was
Origins, right?
I think Gotham Knights and Origins is the same team.
Oh, okay. Gotham Knights sucks. That game sucks big time.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah, it is so not fun to play. It's so unsatisfying. I hated it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So there's a rumor going around.
I like rumors.
Neverwinter Nights 2 may be getting an enhanced edition.
Is that an RPG? I never played a Neverwinter Nights game. What kinds of games are those?
They're like multiplayer-y Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're online.
CRPG.
Yes.
Yep.
What does the C stand for?
Computer.
Crunchy. Yeah, it does. That's not lying.
Dumb.
Well, because these were the games that came out on your computer versus your console RPGs.
Yeah. The ones with
which were pretty much all JRPGs, you know?
Was Halo a CFPS? Or not Halo, was Half-Life a CFPS when it came out?
No, it was a Doom clone.
It's not a Doom clone.
I'm joking. Kind of.
There was also a release date revealed for Onimusha 2.
Onimusha.
So
Onimusha.
Apparently no genre no in this one.
That's a bummer.
Well, not 2. This is like Onimusha 7 or something, isn't it?
The remaster of Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny.
Oh, it's a
has been
remaster.
confirmed to hit the stores.
And that one
May
doesn't have genre no
23rd.
because he's in Onimusha 3.
Yeah, there's a new Onimusha game that they did roll out a new trailer for called Onimusha Way of the Sword.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's why I was confused.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
And
a remaster.
it looks kind of like
remake.
like a horror / samurai game. Looked pretty gory. Looked pretty neat though. I've never played one of those Onimushas. I think I should give them a shot. There's another trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Mm-hmm. Is it going to have that song? Snake eater, you'll eat some snakes. I can't remember how that
There
one
was
goes.
there was a release date trailer for a game called Hell Is Us that looks like it's like a third person sci-fi shooter type game. And the guy who does the voice of Adam Jensen plays the voice of the main character in this one.
Neat.
Huh.
Yeah, it looks really good. The graphics look great on it.
I wish
There's a
we could.
There's a DLC announced for Lies of P
Oh wow!
Ugh.
called Lies of P Overture, and it looks like a big expansion. So that's neat for people that like Lies of P.
I
I was
going
gonna say while I was cleaning all the beer off myself, so I didn't spill it. It foamed out of its, which the last one did too. So what's wrong with these beers? Anyway, I was gonna say, remember when you guys were obsessed with VR? God, I'm so glad those days are over. So glad.
I used my VR headset the other week.
Because I hate VR and I hate talking about VR.
It is talking about your dreams. You are correct.
No, I hate that too. Actually,
I know you do.
I hate that.
That's what I'm saying. Well, why are you so mad? What's wrong, buddy?
There's a game announcement seemingly tailored directly to Vanessa, a game called Blueprints, which is a puzzle game that they're calling an atmospheric architectural adventure. Sounds like it could be right up Vanessa's alley. John, there was another announcement that you would like.
Oh, yeah?
They announced the launch date for Borderlands 4.
Ooh. I still
along
haven't
with
finished
a gameplay trailer, and it looked pretty good. I thought that at first that announcement trailer they did was super dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like it at all, but watching the gameplay, it looks pretty slick.
I think I said it on the when we talked about that trailer that the neat thing about that trailer was it picks up a plot thread that was introduced at the end of the pre-sequel in 2014 that never got addressed again in Borderlands 3. So it's cool that they're going back to that.
Yeah.
But I also don't like a trailer about two different armies running at each other like it's an Avengers movie.
That was the thing. It didn't have that Borderlands personality to it. You know what I mean? I thought it was kind of bland, but the trailer that they released the other day looks pretty good. They also released a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. Mm-hmm. Just kidding, they didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
I saw
very excited about that.
I didn't even think about it, and then I was scrolling TikTok yesterday after the State of Play, and there were a handful of TikToks I saw about how mad Kingdom Hearts fans were that there was no news about Kingdom Hearts 4 in the State of Play.
But you are a Kingdom Hearts fan, so are you mad?
Yeah.
No.
It took 1,000 years for the last one to come out. Like,
It did.
you know what? Between this and the Silk Song and all this stuff, like, I'm real tired of fucking people getting mad that the game they want to play didn't get talked about. Like, fuck off. It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, I feel like at this point there are like a handful of games that are just running jokes that people are simultaneously really want to see, but news never comes. Silk Song being one of them.
Final Fantasy IX Remake, never happened.
Yeah, Deltarune is a game that people have been waiting on, which is like the next game from the Undertale guy.
No, that one's been coming out in chapters. There's at least
But
2 chapters out of that.
Yeah,
thing.
there's another chapter that he's working on that he's letting his friends play test now, but it's not.
Okay.
Oh, what's the... My daughter talks about one all the time.
Deltarune?
What is it? No.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Kindergarten? Is it Kindergarten?
Cop?
Oh, Kindergarten. Yeah, Kindergarten 3.
There's another one. Yandere Simulator. Isn't that like an episodic game that has been like in development for 1,000,000 years now?
I don't know. I feel like Bloodborne 2 or Bloodborne Remaster is one of those. That was like, I was watching the YouTube chat during the State of Play, and everyone was just like screaming Bloodborne, 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 like every time a new trailer would start to roll, and they were always disappointed.
Aw, yeah, Bloodborne. Well, I don't know. Who knows about Bloodborne? It might come out eventually. It is gonna be 10 years old in a few weeks?
It's already 10 years old, right?
All right, next vote, Bloodborne.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Matt would quit the show for that one.
I mean, I won't quit the show, but maybe I don't fucking finish the game. Those things are too hard. I don't got that kind of time. God,
They're
I
all
thought Thief was a
co-op.
fucking project.
The co-op
I
is
should
really
go-
fun.
I should go back and look at my first Bloodborne save to see how long it took me to finish it. That's the only Dark Souls game that I've gone through and finished the entire thing. It took me a long time, I bet, and I rage quit it a bunch.
I mean, I played a bit of it and I enjoyed it, but then I hit the same wall that I hit with Elden Ring where I was like, I just don't want to keep doing this. Like,
It is a grind.
it's just not that fun. And it does that, like you open up you finally get to the end, you open up that new area and it's like, all right, now here's the new area. Do it all again.
I think it's the setting that hooked me. Like all
Yeah.
of like the Lovecraftian gothic horror was just so well done.
I loved playing that. Like, it was during the pandemic, and playing that with Julio was really fun. Like, that was
I
definitely
bet.
a pandemic game for me.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I think that's about all that I had for hot gaming news. You guys
Yep.
have anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Well, before we jump into the mission objectives, we should seriously. God, Facebook has turned into absolute garbage.
What did it do?
I was kind of scrolling and I ran across a video of somebody like tying knots, and I was like, oh. And I just kind of watched it for a second, like, oh, knots, cool. Like, not even really thinking about it. I was more just listening to you guys and kind of looking at it. And then I scrolled up a couple more posts or down a couple more posts, and the same video, but the fucking rope was a different color. Like, that is what Facebook is now. It's like, oh, you watched a video about, and not even watched, you led a video about cake decorating play.
Mm-hmm.
You must want 100,000 of these. You must want these to pop into your feed every single page.
Oh, can I squeeze in one more hot gaming news announcement?
Yeah. Squeeze it in.
Remedy announced that Alan Wake 2 is finally turning a profit. After 2 million copies sold, it is now in the green, in the black.
Most games eventually turn a profit, right? Except for the huge disasters.
Yeah, I just think the model for game releases is super broken. Like, you spend like $100 million investing in the production of a game, and if it doesn't recoup the expenses in like the first quarter of it releasing, they consider it a flop, which is like not a terrible strategy for releasing 100 million. Like, it's not a movie.
But
Gotta
like
give some
Solar
people time, man.
Babies, I was listening to an interview. This was like 10 years ago. There's an interview with Mel Brooks about Solar Babies, which was this sci-fi movie he bankrolled that was a huge bomb, like just one of the biggest box office bombs of all time. It made money in the end, like, you know,
Yeah,
with
it takes a while.
VHS and TV rights and everything. It made money.
Yeah.
But that's not what matters. What matters is, did it make money the
Immediately.
first day it came out, and otherwise
Did it
it's
recoup
garbage.
its investment in the first weekend? It's like
You know how
it's-
products are, where any product that you make and release is expected to recoup its entire investment in the first day it comes out. Can you imagine if you like had some new fucking type of hammer or something, and you're like, I'm gonna get some funding, I'm gonna put this thing out, and the week it comes out, your investors are like, money now.
Yeah,
You give us the money
I
now.
feel like that's the curse of committing yourself to shareholder value.
Yeah.
Is that like if it doesn't recoup its investment immediately, you're fucked.
I mean, that's the problem with CW abandoning narrative TV, because their investors want immediate profits, but the CW model is long term. Like, those shows, all those superhero shows are going to make profits for the next 40 years.
Totally,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
a lot
Now-
of those shows will go into syndication. Almost like after three seasons, they're in syndication for the next like 20 years on some small network or another. Like, those
One of the-
syndication rights are lucrative.
One of the positives of CW abandoning narrative television is that they're no longer making those terrible DC Universe shows.
How dare you?
Fucking
People love
abominations.
Superman and
Man, you didn't
Lois.
watch them.
Yeah, the color on those things especially is just bullshit.
Damn you.
I watched all of Superman and Lois a couple of months ago, and you know what? Diminishing returns.
What?
Even as you can see their budgets getting bigger and bigger, like they just got blander and blander. The colors were great, though.
Thank you. All right. So, you know what's fun?
We have some
What's a
streams
good
to
time?
plug.
Yeah, there's a good time if you go watch Matt and Jim play Kingdom Hearts. I was in the audience this time, but I had a fun time watching Matt and Jim play Kingdom Hearts. Jim had to grind off screen for a while to get through a boss, and then he got to have some finny fun as a treat.
Yeah. I got to fight Ursula with the power of song.
Rise, poopsies, rise, mommy needs
Oh, that one
you.
sucked. That was the worst song.
I think that's the worst number in that whole world.
Vanessa got me a diorama of that scene for Christmas one year.
Weird.
Really?
Yep.
What does it look like?
It's all.
Is it like, are they like, is everyone partially submerged and there's a giant Ursula in the water?
It actually looks. They set it up more like a Final Fantasy VI battle.
Show diorama.
Oh,
I remember that. That's cool.
fun. That's from the first game though. That's not a second.
That was Mommy Needs You.
No, that's the first game where you actually fight Ursula with your Keyblade.
Oh, okay.
That looks like it's from one of the DS games.
It does kind of. It could be. I've never played those.
All right. So, anywho, we have a cool stream Wednesday nights. Currently, Jim and I, and occasionally Johnny, are playing through Kingdom Hearts 2. And when Jim wraps that up, hopefully never, because it's super fun and I love it, Johnny will be playing Squealer.
Yes, Squealer. It's kind of like a Thing meets Blade Runner. The Thing meets Blade Runner.
Scummer.
Snatcher, right?
It is
Is it Snatcher?
Snatcher, yes.
Oh, Snatch with, doesn't it have like Brad Pitt?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Brad Pitt,
that beefy
and
boxer
that-
man.
Who is that? What's the name of
That
that
guy that
beefy
makes all those
boxer guy?
movies that everybody loves that I just never liked very much.
Oh,
like
Guy
those.
Ritchie.
Yeah,
Guy Ritchie,
I
Lock,
like his
Stock, and
movies.
Two Smoking Barrels,
Mhm.
Snatch.
Revolver.
I'd rather watch an MCU movie, thank you.
What if
I
Guy
like-
Ritchie made an MCU movie?
Ooh, I'd watch that.
Didn't he make that? Didn't he do one of the X-Men's?
Did he? I don't think so.
No way.
Mommy needs you.
He did. You know what? I liked his last movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I liked that one.
Okay, I didn't see that one. So, you friends, listen and watch stream time. Matt, Jim, good, fun. Kingdom Hearts, Riku Sora, Donald Goofy.
Also, don't forget to watch Good Fun, Bears Channel.
Yay!
Where fun talk about gay games and open world games.
Reviewing
that
Bioshock.
one's about gay stuff.
It's not about gay stuff, the Bioshock review. It's just about Bioshock. And I do talk about its history a little bit. That's why I've been playing like System Shock and all that to get a sense of where it came from. And wow, System Shock 2 is just Bioshock with worse graphics. It's crazy.
Yeah. But in my opinion, a less annoying story.
Yeah, I do. I like it so far. It's definitely got a very creepy story. Those little monkeys that shoot psychic energy at you, I heard people really hate them. They're all right. They're not that bad.
I kind of know what you're talking about, but I kind of can't picture it.
They're just like little tiny monkeys that shoot brain zaps at you. It's weird. And they go like, eek, I guess they do make a lot of screeches. They do make monkey sounds a lot.
Because they're probably monkeys.
They are monkeys. They're monkeys that have been genetically modified to have psychic powers.
I don't know how this turned into the System Shock 2 podcast.
Well, because
I'm
we're talking
fucking into
about
it.
Bioshocky games and all. Anyway, so the new video, about halfway through the edit, it'll be out next week or so. So look forward to that.
Sweet.
Da-da-da. Now, back to our show.
This is the final Thief episode, by the way. I don't know that we...
show.
Matt, did you say what we do on this show?
No, I didn't. This is my first time hosting, so I'm pretty new to this.
We play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs, like Thief.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Remember that?
Matt, what happens in Thief? In the finale of Thief?
Whoa. You want to talk mission objectives, huh?
I do.
Well, first up, mission number 13. Escape! Escape!
Escaflowne.
Yeah, Escaflowne. It's time to fucking run. If you remember where we left off last week, Garrett finally got the eye and handed it over to Constantine, who turned into a devil man and ripped Garrett's eye out and then left him to die trapped by vines and stuff. But the keepers showed up and cut Garrett free and then left him there.
Yeah,
like
then they
assholes.
just left. So it's like, well, have fun. There are about 8 gajillion Ratmen here for you to escape from.
Yeah, this level is starts off underground. The first thing you're going to run across are these incredibly goofy Ratmen. Can we talk about how the Ratmen walk?
Yeah.
They walk like me. That's how I run across a road. Ask Vanessa. It's true.
They walk like fucking like wind-up toys.
Yeah,
It's
they are
wild.
adorable, and they're like,
Oh, Sneaksy's little friend gotta find his sneaky little hiding man.
It's funny. Like as we have played this series, I have kind of been like, I'm pretty sure this is a game that I know I played it. I'm pretty sure it's a game that I had like finished. I remember Ratman and all sorts of stuff, and none of that was coming up. And some of these missions I don't really remember. I know we had some extra DLC missions here, but once we got to the end of this game, I did finish this game for sure. And I was right. There are Ratmen, and they are creepy.
Jim said that there was dinosaur men, and I thought he meant, because there's green guys, but those are like praying mantis men. Those aren't.
They're like praying mantis ladies.
Oh,
Are they,
They go like-
ladies?
they do have feminine voices. It's true.
I thought the Ratmen were dinos.
I don't know why you thought that.
Why? Like they
I mean, the graphics aren't very
Yeah, the
good
graphics aren't
because this
good.
game came out in 1998.
Yeah,
so.
they don't. I mean, honestly, they don't look like rats or dinosaurs, but there are dinosaurs in this world. So I was like, oh, this is just like the like anthropomorphic version of these dinos.
So I got up to the house pretty quick. Like there's just a certain number of turns you got to make, and then there's a couple of ways to get inside the Constantine's house, but it's all like blocked off. Like nature is taking over, nature is healing. There's deers in the street, But
it takes. I think it takes a little while. There's quite a few tunnels and and like areas you have to go through here. The praying mantises will just kind of stand still and shoot bees at you, which is fun.
I don't
a
like
bee.
it. I don't like it when they shoot bees at you. You can one hit kill them if they don't see you with your arrows, so that's generally how. Or you can even blackjack them, but they're hard to blackjack.
Yeah. No, I thought that both the rats and the praying mantises were easy enough to blackjack, and I did not have a problem blackjacking my way through them. I sent a picture of the Ratmen to the group. I mean, I don't know. I think they're Ratmen. They could be almost anything.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. They look almost like birds with tails a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it's the tails that are the rattiest part, because those are very rat tail. But their heads do. If you said that's a Dinoman, I'd be like, oh, okay. Because the heads could be a dinosaur. They could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be a Planet of the Apes game.
Anywho, there's also like little rat roach things that will just run up to you and explode, and those
are
annoying.
little dinosaurs or frogs. I'm not sure.
Yeah. They are like little dino things.
Yeah, those things, they don't hit the enemies, which is annoying because I thought I could blow them up next to enemies, but that doesn't really work. They're also really hard to hit with an arrow. But I did find like there was a rat guy coming, and then a praying mantis lady was belching flies at me, and it killed the Ratman immediately. I was like, oh, that's good. I like that.
Ooh, nice. Thankfully, there are a lot of arrows strewn around. There's lots of water arrows, moss arrows, fire arrows all over the place here.
A couple of gas
as well
arrows.
as little fruits that you can pick up that will actually heal you.
Mm-hmm. Yay, fruits. I don't know if I noticed the fruits healing me, Matt. I was at 2 health this entire level. Pretty much.
So you never ate the fruit.
I
is
never
what happened.
ate the fruit, Matt. I was getting very frustrated. I was dying all the time.
There are little fruits everywhere, and they will restore like 5 health, and I had a buttload of them in full health the whole time. Anyway, I think this is a fun level. It definitely, as Jim alluded to last week, it does mix things up. This feels different. You're no longer, sneaking through somebody's mansion or breaking into something. Like, you're just on the run. You're not really all about finding loot, though there is loot to be found, and I certainly did load up on what I could. Also, you start the level without anything at all, and then you do find in the room that you're in, you're like sword and blackjack and bow, and then maybe in the next room or the rest of your stuff, or some of it.
Sure. This level does reward you for remembering the layout a bit, because the way you get out is the way you get in the first time you did the Constantine mansion, which I liked. Or it's a way to get in.
But it's different. Like as you said, nature is like taking over Constantine's mansion. It's a little different in there, but there's new loot to be found if you want to take the time. I found some. I didn't go nuts.
I found a ton because I kept getting stuck because I had 2 health. There was one point where I did have to kill like 5 mouse men in a row just to be able to explore a bit. I did it. Matt.
Yeah, I was definitely save scumming like crazy throughout this whole thing. Throughout this whole game, basically. Like, it was knock something out, make sure I'm safe, save.
I'd say that last level I didn't have to save scum as much.
I definitely fucked up a few times and like accidentally hit the autosave instead of the auto load in a bad situation and had to like work my way out of it.
Well, what I do is
a rat had just walked into a room and was looking for me, and I was standing right in front of it, and I was like, no. But thankfully he was enough steps away that I was able to pull out a gas arrow and gas him before he did anything.
Gassing groups of people is a lot of fun. The next map offers a really good gas opportunity. That was great.
The gas mines really worked for me.
I got up to the 2nd floor because I wasn't sure where I was supposed to be going. Like, not the way that not the actual exit way. Like, the old staircase is growing over with stuff, but you can get to a bit of the 2nd floor of the mansion, which is pretty neat. But I there's not much to do.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good to get up there because you can easily pick off enemies from above, so there was an advantage to it. This wasn't a bad level. This was a fun design. This did remind me a bit of some Dishonored stuff, but in a good way.
Yeah. Anyway, we escape the mansion, and Garrett decides that he needs help. And you know who really hates these pagan weirdos?
The Hammerites.
It's hammer time. Garrett decides to sneak back into the Hammer Temple to speak with the High Priest and let him know what's going on and ask for help. But once we get there, SpaghettiOs.
Well, even
it's a
like
murder.
just in the streets, everyone's dead.
Everyone's fucking dead. So once you get there, yep, the Hammer Temple, it's a revisit to the escape level. Didn't we say that the original version of this was a DLC? So did they reuse it backwards?
Yes, I think that's what they did. They did a really good job, I thought, of making it like restoring it and making all the rooms make sense and stuff. So I was really impressed by that. The whole second floor, the basement level where you find the High Priest in the DLC level, though, is not there. It's been grown over, I guess.
Okay. It is there.
Not the whole...
You mean the crypt?
Not the crypt part, but before the... Like, there's a level between the crypt and the main floor that isn't there.
I ran around down there.
The part where the quarters were and stuff, I didn't find that. And, like, the training area and the... there were the crypt area. That was there, but it's just different. But that's fine. I thought this was fun. This was probably one of the better levels. I really like this because I think a good amount of enemies. It never felt overwhelming or frustrating as much as just like having fun, giving people bonks and sneaking around. And I know that there's some spiders, so Jim probably didn't like that part as much.
A lot of spiders.
There's new spiders that shoot magic, as well as encase you in their webs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really, I don't know how I did it. I really fucking zipped through this level. I was very much like, I don't want to do this again. And before I even knew what was going on, I was beyond the original level and down in the underground tunnels and talking to the hammers down there. And I didn't know. I was like, did I go too far? What happened? What's going on?
There's like a pit where you can see 3 different floors. And once again, Garrett is very good at picking off people from above. So that was great.
So what you do is you get below the Hammer Temple into the tunnels, and you find that the surviving hammers have kind of locked themselves down there where the monsters can't get at them. But they tell you that they need their High Priest, and you got to go find him. And he is just kind of down here in the tunnels, like a couple of when you finally find him, he's in a room with 3 Ratmen who are all facing outwards looking for you. It kind of pissed me off.
Oh no, I got
but they didn't see me at all.
I killed, like, when they turned around, I arrowed them all in the back of the head and gas arrowed one. It was great.
I snuck right by him. I managed to basically sneak through this entire level without barely needing to do a thing. Like a few Ratmen and Praying Mantis men got knocked out that were in my way, but otherwise, like, I was just kind of zipping through it. Jim, I'm going to need you to stop doing that. Go have a coffee or something.
I killed all the Ratmen, even the women and the children in that level because I couldn't find the exit to go down. Because basically, you can go down to their... And I think you can do it either way, but all I did to finish the level was through the High Priest, who you carry because he's unconscious, at a window, and that seemed to work. Jim, did you mess around with this in God mode?
I did. I think I was having trouble with the no clip on this game. I kept falling through the levels. And when you fall through the levels and you don't toggle the fly mode while you're falling, you fall so far away. Like at one point I fell off the level down to the bottom, and I had to turn fly mode on, and I was trying to fly back up to the level. I bet it took me a solid 3 minutes of just flying upwards to get back into the level. It takes so long. So I turned off no clip, and I was running through the level, and it just took me a long time to find the High Priest. I didn't really know what I was looking for.
In that escape level, there's a couple of doors you can take that just take you out to, like, the stars. And it seems to be on purpose that it's completely broken. Like, you can look back and see parts of the level, but I don't know what else this was supposed to be. Did you find the stars, Matt?
So you actually, yes, and you actually can find these. I want to say in all 3 of these levels, definitely in Maw of Chaos, where if you can actually walk out into the stars sometimes and find loot and arrows and stuff. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, you kind of find the high priest. In fact, I found like a door that when I walked in, there was like I guess a raft on a river, and Garrett was like, "This would be a great place to get the high priest out of here with." And but then I couldn't find it again, and instead I did what you did. I just found a wall that had a hole in it with the hammers on the other side, and was like, "Take it!
Take another little piece of my heart now, baby." Sorry.
You are not forgiven."
Oh, Matt, you would have loved when we all started singing "Share" at the end of the last bonus episode.
Yeah, I bet. Oh, bummer, I had to miss out on that. I'm real sad. Coaster of the Goblin or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Coaster of the Goblin.
It's Maya's "The Case of the X" is what we played.
Anywho, eventually you deliver the surviving high priest back to the hammers. And that takes us into mission 15. This is a short fucking episode again, boys. Like, we are already done.
Are we on the last mission already?
Yeah, there's just not a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm all stuffed up. That takes us into mission 15, into the Maw of Chaos. The hammers lend us an eye. A fake eye, that is. Hey, a fake eye gem thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to use that to kill this bad guy. Basically, we need to sneak into the Maw of Chaos, where the Woodsy Lord is doing his little ritual. And we're going to swap out the eye for this fake eye. And then, I mean, that's it. That's the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's the game. I'm going to blow my nose. I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know like the lore of what's happening, which is kind of frustrating for me. Like, you go to this place called the Maw of Chaos, which is just Monster Town. It's like Monsterville. It's where all the monsters live.
Mm-hmm. It's another dimension, another dimension, another dimension.
Another dimension, another dimension, another dimension.
This was fun though, because I mean, once you sort of beeline it, I like that there's a bunch of gas arrows, because those are the best, and the game's rewarding you. It's a bit like at the end of Half-Life 2 when you suddenly get a super powerful gravity gun. It's a bit like that.
Oh, that's like my favorite part, where the gravity gun turns into like a death machine, a death ray, and it just like zaps everyone and disintegrates them.
Mm-hmm.
I think you guys meant to say another Z dimension. Another Z dimension. Another Z dimension. Another Z dimension. Another Z dimension.
Intergalaxies, planetaries.
Yeah, so the mission just kind of starts with you in the Maw of Chaos, right? It's not like it shows us like going through a portal or something.
But you see the portal behind you, so it's there.
Yeah. This is an interesting level where each layer of this level, it all kind of goes down, and each one is like element themed, and you'll find a lot of elemental arrows in the level. So yes, in the first section, it's basically just a long staircase down. It's pretty long, with monsters marching up and out of the Maw of Chaos into the world. So you have to avoid them, and you do find... Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're all heading up to the Maw to escape into the real world.
And now there's blue lobstermen.
You do find about 15 gas arrows, which does make this actually pretty fucking easy.
Yeah, I think that's on purpose. You're supposed to feel powerful and like having a good time.
I definitely bought some extra gas mines because those things are fucking handy. I didn't use the mines until the end of the game. I love the mines.
Mm-hmm.
I wiped out a room full of spiders at one point in this level with one mine. I just dropped it and it made noise and they all skittered towards it and then they all fucking exploded and flipped upside down. It was great.
That sounds great. Yeah, there are a couple, I guess in the earth part with the tree and everything there, Jim must have not liked the amount of spiders that were present.
Sure, Jim clipped through the wall and flew right over them.
No, I went through the whole level in this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I was playing with the AI to see what would happen if I got all the way down to where the trickster is and what he would do. Like, I wanted to explore that whole room without having to worry about aggroing him, so I turned the AI off before I got in there, and his AI, I guess, only turns on and makes him do anything like once you get close to the room, and I guess I had turned it off far away enough to where I got in the room and he just stood there and didn't do anything. Like, I had to restart the entire level and then go back and do it all again. But it was fun. I like the ending of this game, actually.
Before we get there, we do head through a water area that's got these great like upside down waterfalls that you have to try to swim through, and it loops you around over and over again, and you have to try and like
it took me a
jump
few
out at the right
tries to
time.
figure out what they wanted me to do, but as soon as I stayed in long enough to see the well that you walk past, this very obvious, it looks like a Mario pipe, but it's a blue well. I was like, once you see it from above, you know what you gotta do.
Yeah. So that was pretty neat. And yeah, we climb a very high tree, which I thought was the worst part. I was having a real tough time with the tree. You're inside the tree and you have to platform your way up, and there were spots I couldn't get. And I was like, I basically did it with rope arrows.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what I was supposed to. It doesn't matter, but
I mean, that's how I did it. It's just rope arrows makes it pretty easy by the end.
yeah.
It's just a couple of platforms and some rope arrows, and then you're up at the tippity top.
Yeah, except how does that? But then we continue to go down. You climb up the tree, but that takes you down. It's weird, but I like it. I like how weird it is. It's cool.
Yeah, you climb up the tree and
it
takes you down, and this is the fiery area. There's some fire elementals and
a bunch of lava.
Yeah, and lava.
Lava.
If you're Canadian,
And not the cake kind.
Hat lava.
I you know what? I haven't had a good lava cake in a long time. Speaking of delicious things that burn your tongue, like Jim burnt his little tonguey.
I know. Yeah, Matt, I didn't say this at the top, but Matt did the hosting for this episode because I got a little wound on my tongue. I don't know what it's from. Hurts.
Herpes.
Yeah, it's a herp.
So eventually we make our way down and find the tricksy Woodsy Lord performing his little rituals. This is kind of shockingly easy. I don't know why they didn't make this harder. He will basically, once you get near him, wrap up what he's doing and then immediately turn his back and go to the other side of the room and keep his back to you the whole time so you can slip in and swap the eyes.
I did forget that I was supposed to be stealthy here and like attacked him. He's
What happens when you attack him?
Well, I guess it probably won't let you finish. I just restored, and then did it the proper. I was like,
I did the same thing. I swapped him, and then I got kind of tired because it does kind of go on for a bit.
It does go on for
and I was like,
while.
I really want to shoot this guy. So I did a quick save, and then I shot him with all of my arrows, fire arrows, gas arrows, mines, everything I had. And yeah, he just shoots fireballs at you and kills you. Like, you're not beating this guy. So the game does make you sit and watch as he finishes his little ritual where he goes from altar to altar. And there's 6 or something like that.
He's on like a big shrine that's in the shape of like a 6-pointed star thing. And he has to go, he starts at one point and then goes to the opposite point, and then goes to another point, and then goes to the opposite
Star of David,
point.
is that what you're saying?
So he's just like kind of zigzagging back and forth.
It's like a
this thing,
hexagram.
and each time he goes to the point, he says another little
rhyme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to just hide in the shadows. This is the easiest stealth thing in the game because he just walks pretty far away, and as long as you don't make a lot of noise, you can just swap him out. Which reminds me so much again of the witches of Brigmore, or the Brigmore witches. Like this is that. This is the end of that DLC. It's the same idea.
I like it a lot. I think it's a great ending. I wish there was like a little more to it. Like maybe you needed to swap out a couple of relics and not just one, or there were some more obstacles in your way once you got here. I don't want this to end in a fight with the guy. I guess my guess is that, well, the developers are like, we know what the people want, and that's to listen to our silly little dialogue. That's definitely just one of our interns talking like this. But they're not wrong. It's fun. You swap out the eye, he gets to the end of the ritual, and it fucking explodes, and he dies. And it just kind of cuts. It doesn't make you run back out or anything, thankfully. That would have annoyed the shit out of me.
I think in higher difficulties, because you see the gate on your way in. You see the gate that's obviously the way out, guarded by a bunch of guys. I'm like, oh, that's probably where I'd have to go.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. In fact, I'm going to look right now. I'm curious.
Like in the last level,
this
there's
ending.
a raft where... you can it says, oh, this is a good way to get out of here when you're rescuing the high priest, that you don't need to do.
Yeah, I mentioned that
in this level, or in
I
this
could not
difficulty level.
find it when that level. I could not find it on the way back.
You don't need to anyways. You just throw, because I tried throwing the high priest on it, and it's like that I looked, as said, no, you need to bring the high priest to the Hammerites. That's why I tried throwing him through the window.
The expert objectives, you do have to destroy the portal that the beasts are entering through before Constantine finishes his ritual.
Oh, that's why it's so long.
Oh, whoa. This calls the Ratman monkey men.
Oh,
Those aren't
they're
monkeys. Those are not monkeys.
Well, who knows? I guess they are monkey men. I thought you told me to see rats, and those tails look like rat tails. So
They do look like rat tails.
They do like monkey tails though. Too.
Like the one on the back of Jim's head.
I wish. Maybe when I was like in like 4th grade, when I had a sweet rat tail.
Those aren't fucking monkey tails, no matter how you try and spin it.
Listen, technology was limited. They
All
didn't have
right,
the
so
power to render.
yeah, I guess you're right. They didn't have the power of the Xbox, so how could they make good games? Anyway, Garrett escapes. The game ends. We get a little epilogue scene of Garrett walking through the city. His keeper buddy from the beginning of the game approaches him. And now I wonder, is this added for the gold version? I think it must be.
Good question, because it does like immediately. It does like set up the
Thief
next
2.
Thief game. Yeah, like directly.
When did Thief 2 come out?
I think
Was
they
it the
even
next
say.
year, do you
I think they even say in this cutscene, you need to be prepared for the Metal Age.
Yes, they definitely do. Came out in 2000. Well, I don't know the answer to this question, but regardless, you speak with your keeper buddy. He tells Garrett basically, you're not done. And whether you like it or not, fate's going to have its way with you, and you're going to have to, you better prepare yourself for it, because it's happening one way or the other. Whatever's happening is happening one way or the other. And Garrett does a bunch of tough guy, like, I don't care, we're done. Don't ever speak to me or my blackjack ever again. And the guy just kind of laughs at him and leaves and says, that the prophecies or whatever that foretold this situation happening also say that once the Woodsy Lord is defeated, beware the coming of the Metal Age.
Yeah, they reference some prophecies. They said everything that happened was written. They also, you get a cool close up of what's the main character's name? Garrett?
Mm-hmm.
Gary?
Yeah, Gary.
You get a close up of Gary's robot eye,
Mhm.
and it's like
Yeah, it's got like
focusing.
an Aperture Science logo.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, they do. He says that the Hammers gave it to him, right?
Yeah, they gave him a new eye, and
so he's got a cool
eye.
robo eye.
Mhm.
And that's
Does
the end
that
of
factor
Thief.
into Thief 2 at all? Can you do like a zoom with your robot eye in Thief 2?
I don't know. Maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
Definitely, what I remember of the plot of Thief 2 is that like a sect of Hammerites breaks off. I think they call themselves the Mechanists. I think I remember talking about that in this season. Anyway, who are obsessed with like progress and making machines and stuff. And I do remember there being like cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are like, I was reading about the game, and there are guys with masks, and there's like steam gas or rust gas that can kill you.
No.
Ooh, you get a remote eye camera. Cool.
Oh, neat. What does that mean, remote eye camera? Like, can you leave your eye places and then look and see what it's seeing?
I think
that's
you can
cool.
control it. I think it like floats around.
Oh, neat.
The vine arrow gets added. It says, I'm looking at the gameplay changes. Other changes include an increase in the number of AI behaviors and the addition of female guards and soldiers.
Thief 2 for the ladies.
Man, that Kingdom Come 2
Deliverance, yeah.
sounds pretty
good. That's the first one.
But that
Is the first one Deliverance?
I don't know, but I'm not gonna play it because they were so gamergatey, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have black people in this game because there were no black people in Europe in the 15th century." Which, like, go look at some fucking documents. Like,
Isn't the new one getting knocked by all the chodes for being woke?
Oh,
People are like,
if it's
"What?
woke."
I played that." They're like, "I played it and I accidentally kissed a man."
oh, but is it still like
Accidentally.
women can't do anything? You can't be a lady? Is that still?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I only know that like people are all against it because they say it's woke, and that kind of makes me
Okay, I feel a bit better about it than I did before, because it sounds like my kind of jam. It sounds really stupid and fun, but
It does, yeah.
I didn't play that first one because of the gamergatey stuff. The guy who was
They said the new one is, well, I mean, all I know is that a lot of the gamer chodes are upset because they say it's woke.
This does say the missions in Thief 2, responding to criticisms of the original Thief, were designed much more around typical thief-like behavior, and much of the game is spent robbing the rich rather than raiding tombs and running from monsters.
Ooh, that sounds like my kind of jam. Sticking it to the rich.
Yeah. But there are... Now, this wiki calls them ape beasts.
Oh.
I'm fucking obsessed with this. I have a real picture of one now, and I'm going to send it to the group.
Oh.
Okay, so the new one is more diverse and has queer stuff. Okay, all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, watch out, Johnny. We would hate for you to catch the gay.
Oh no!
Whoa, those guys that looks like a dinosaur.
What? It does kind of look like a dinosaur.
Look at his feet. He has dinosaur feet.
Oh.
He does have dinosaur feet and a dinosaur tail.
Okay, so the game's
This is
director was
idiotic.
vocally in support of Gamergate when the first game launched, and joined in making fun of Dragon Age: The Veilguard last month for being too woke. So I don't know. He just
Oh, so they have shitty developers, but they maybe accidentally made a queer
that's weird.
friendly
Did you,
game.
is it the same guy made both games?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
I didn't know that. I actually bought Kingdom Come Deliverance a couple years ago, because I heard great things about it and wanted to check it out. And I played like an hour of it and was like, this kind of sucks, actually.
What kind of game is it? I don't even know.
It's a first person. I think it's first person. I want to say it's first person, like RPG.
Is it like a Skyrim with no magic?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's like a very medieval setting, and you're like a pig farmer or something.
Is it like a survival game?
I don't know.
No, it's an
I didn't play
RPG.
that much.
Oh,
And,
okay.
It's like a Skyrim.
We were talking about it in the Discord recently, and somebody, I want to say Chris or Jay, was telling us that the first game has like expendable saves. You have to have something in order to save.
Oh,
That
I
sounds
remember that discussion. Can I say
fucking
really?
terrible.
Can I say really quick? Speaking of our Discord participant and listener Chris, last week I mentioned I played through At Dead of Night, which is a first-person FMV horror game. I played it on stream. Chris was instrumental in me finishing that game because the game does not really tell you where to go and what to look for, and he was very helpful and in chat guided me from room to room and item to item, which was very helpful. So thank you, Chris. Needed to correct the record.
All right, so we should talk about whether we're roundly for or squarely against Thief, right?
Well, before that, we should talk about where we're playing to next time in Patreon poll winner, Sonic the Dark Brotherhood.
Yay!
And no, that's not a joke.
I'm excited. I've always wanted to play this game. I now own it. I own a copy of it. It's right in front of me. I'm very excited. So the
My
answer...
copy should be right in front of me because it was supposed to be it was supposed to be delivered today, and then it got delayed.
Oh. Because of woke.
Because of woke
Look what I got
DEI
today.
garbage.
Ooh.
Even
Wow,
but I
you're
can't find
showing
my
it to us, but you can't find your DS. So.
I can't find my 3DS anywhere.
But you
I
have
know
your-
the charger,
was it-
But I can't find the actual 3DS.
Do you have a 2DS or a regular DS?
I don't think so. I could probably find one of those for cheap. I was gonna go by the retro game store over the weekend and see if I could score a DS or 3DS for cheap.
I have so many DSs. I could send you one, but that would take too long. That'd be expensive.
Yeah. So did we say where we're playing to?
Are we
Yeah.
playing to?
We
John.
are playing chapters 1 and 2.
How many chapters are in the game?
10.
Just out of curiosity.
So
Okay.
105.
this is going to be a 5-parter.
So 2 chapters per chunker.
Yeah.
Nice even distribution of chapters. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be light and easy. No problems. I've heard this game's not frustrating at all.
I heard that this game is 40 chapters, one for each week of Sonic's pregnancy.
Ooh.
I've played like an hour of this game, and an hour of it. Okay, I can't imagine playing 16 hours of this game. I don't know. You know, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe after we finish the series, like listen to the first episode against the final episode, and just see how like defeated and we all feel by the end. You know, we're gonna start out really optimistic and like, yeah, this game's kind of weird, and then at the end we're like, oh my god, we still have to jump over fucking boxes during battles and do chase sequences during fights. Fuck that.
It sounds like this was an RPG made for babies.
Well, then, it should be easy. Then shan't it, Van
So it's
Sant?
perfect for Vanessa. Am I right, guys?
What a baby. Wah, wah. Baby want the mama.
Well,
Baby,
you
no
guys are-
wanna play thief.
She'll be there. She'll be there. She'll come and join us. It'll be great. You'll see.
That felt like a threat. All right. Well, it is time for us to talk about what we are squarely against. And since Jim cheated his way through the whole game and barely played it, I wanted to hear his valueless opinion.
Wow.
No kidding.
All right, gatekeeper.
No. I'm roundly for this game. It's fun. I did play like the first 2 chapters sans cheats before I figured out how to break the game, and had a good time with it. And I think the setting is neat. I like the whole idea of the city. I like the lore of what's happening. Like they kind of live in like a steampunk fantasy world, which is cool. I like the turn of Constantine being like a pagan deity. Thought that was fun. I like the dinosaur guys.
You know, not to step all over your thing here, but you know what I just realized? That Babe Victoria never showed back up at the end of this game.
Yeah, I was reading about that. She does not show up in this game, but she plays a big part in the second one. Yeah,
I
she
wonder
comes
if
back
I
in the
finished Thief 2. Like, I may have, but I don't remember.
Do you get to romance Victoria, though? That is the question.
Oh, yeah. I think there's like a hot coffee Victoria scene.
Let me just say, I was kind of talking about, and again, I'm sorry for stepping all over your squirrely guns.
You're fine.
You know what? I was kind of saying, like, I felt like this last boss area needed like a little something extra. It needed Victoria. Like, you needed maybe a second person in there to make this a little more difficult because it was way too easy. That was my only complaint, is that it was nothing. Like, you just walk up behind the guy, take the thing, and then go sit in a corner.
And you didn't get to
You know
give
what I mean?
anyone a bonk bonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have made me bonk out Victoria before I could do it. That would, and then and put you on a timer. Like, you've got 5 minutes, and if you don't fucking knock this broad out and get that eye swapped out, you're fucked. Like, that would have made it, I think.
I think what they should have done is, instead of like the Hammerites giving you the fake eye, like maybe you had to go in there and steal the fake eye from Victoria. Like, she had it and you had to go in and bonk her and steal it from her and then switch it out. That could have been a nice incorporation of Victoria.
Oh, Victoria with a K.
I need to amend my joke earlier there. I said, like at the beginning of the show, I said thief code Veronica, and I meant to say thief code Victoria.
That would have been way
code
funnier.
Victoria, yeah.
I thought you were just making a Resident Evil joke because you're a Resident Evil nerd.
No, I meant to say code Victoria. It's still funny though. It's not as funny. John, what are you squarely against, buddy?
I'm roundly for this game. I thought it was good. It had a couple of frustrating levels that made me a little down, like that sewer level that was very bad. But in the end, I'm glad Matt made me play it, and it ended up being relevant to the video I'm working on, and to the point that I used footage of me playing this game for my next video. So I appreciate the knowledge and expansion of my gaming repertoire having played through this. So thanks, Matt. That. Matt's gone. So he didn't hear any of this. It's fine. We'll just pretend that I hated it when he comes back. And I'm really for this game. I thought it was fun. I liked.
So, John, what did you think of Thief?
Oh, it was kind of bad, Matt. In the end, I'm a little pissed off at you for making us play this because, that sewer level was bad and the graphics. What even was I looking at?
January was bad enough, but on top of that, we had to play Thief.
Yeah, Matt. I'm so annoyed.
I know. It's tough because we had to play this game called Thief when the real thief is in the White House. You know what I'm saying?
They're more than one, Matt. The thieves take it over. And they're called Doge, which is a sad spoiling of memory of a cute dog that they've ruined because they're just the worst pieces of shit. That's my politic moment.
It's really depressing thinking about like if I, have them grandkids learning about fucking there's a Doge unit in their like civics textbook or whatever, or in their history like that sucks.
I don't see this lasting past
Jim,
this
the United States
administration.
government, or all governments really, are just a reflection of their people, and the fact that our current government is a fucking joke is a real reflection of how our current electorate is a fucking joke,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I like to think it's part that and part like maybe like a 15-year long manipulation of people's emotions through rage bait on social media.
Yeah,
deliberate
and
rage baiting
news
of
network.
Stupid people on social media. Yeah, and the selling out of news networks to rich corporate interests.
The fact
I think
that
that's a lot of it as well.
like Apple and Google and stuff are like, yes, Daddy Twump, we love you. It's $1 million. Please love us. Like, that doesn't seem
John,
right.
I am not kidding. I think this is 100% true. Since the election, I've been served and have subsequently blocked. I bet now it's maybe 500 to 600 pages of like Facebook serving me right-wing content that I block.
Wow.
And there's probably been 500 to 600 different pages of it.
That's crazy.
It's wild.
So here, due to basically in the past 2 weeks, Canada has changed. It's the weirdest. I have not seen a united Canada in my lifetime. This is
United
weird.
against the United States,
Yes,
which is wild.
it is
I've seen some of the
crazy.
billboards, which is like zero, like can't remember what the product was, but it was, I think maybe it was a cheese product, and it was like 0% American cheese on this billboard, and I was like, damn.
So Paul Revere, who is he was
Paul
the front.
Bear?
Paul Revere, Pierre Paul Revere. He's the front runner for the next election that's coming up, right?
Okay.
But he put his camp to, like, some of his base really likes Trump, and he used Trump style politics to get in here, and now it's biting him in the ass. Like,
Thank
really?
God.
yeah, well, because the Liberals, because Trudeau resigned, right? Like, he's still prime minister for now, but he won't be the head of the party for the next election. They're going through that right now. There's a whole caucus thing, but yeah. Now the Conservatives have the double problem of they built their campaign basically like how the Republicans' campaign was going to be targeted at Biden being too old. This one was going to be targeted at how everyone hates Trudeau, but he's not an issue anymore. And now they also have the, oh, but you love Trump, thing that he is persona non grata in Canada. Like, the whole
guy
country
threatening to invade.
Yeah,
Weird.
the whole country really suddenly hates the U.S.
The
It's
guy
crazy.
who really wants to take away Canadian sovereignty.
Yep. And then you have his, like, those demos that you always see Twitter screenshots of the three guys, Matt Walsh and all those idiots and probably.
Oh, and Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
And,
One of them's like, yeah, it's going to be a state, but there's not going to be any representation. It's like, no, who would agree to that? Why would we agree to that?
That
Like,
makes me so mad. That's such a perversion of, like, the idea of the
United
American
States?
state.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, fuck it. It's just basically like Canada would just be like an occupied country.
Yeah.
It would be a
at that
territory
point.
like we already have several of, Jim.
yes.
But those people can vote.
Yeah, they can vote.
They have
Vote, but they don't get
They
representation
don't get
in Congress.
representation, which is
That is true.
nuts.
That is nuts. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, whatever comes out of this is better. Hopefully, hey, California, y'all want to join up? California, you want to come? We're cool. Come join us. We'd like California.
You think like California, Oregon, Washington,
Oregon
they
and like rural California, rural Oregon, and rural Washington are real red.
like
Yep.
far north
Every
California,
rural area in the
southern
country's
Oregon.
red, bud.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Which is like, what's crazy though is like there's a really big especially with like farmers, a really big backlash happening right now because like most farming is like the buying of crops and stuff happens at the federal level. Like USAID buys billions of dollars in US agricultural output to give to other countries, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so like a lot of these farmers are left without people to sell their crops to, or they're left without federal programs to help subsidize, the conservation of their land and seed and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of
Maybe those people should have thought about that before they did what they did. Anyway,
Matt,
Thief.
I got a question for you. Are you roundly for or squarely against Thief? Now that you have a clear new playthrough with some extra levels.
First of all, I'm roundly for the fact that Johnny liked Thief so much. That made me feel good and happy on the inside, where I'm soft like a woman.
Aw. Yeah, you are.
I am roundly for Thief for sure. I really enjoyed playing it again. My only real complaint was the complaint that I have every season, which is not a complaint about the game. It's that our schedule makes it a little more of a chore to play than you would like it to be. But we got to knock these things out. I really had a great time with it. It's a lot of fun. I love sneaking around, stealing loot. Like, this is, to me, put this up against Dishonored. I know that Dishonored is a better playing game, a better designed game. I'll take Thief. Like, this is what I want. Less murdering, scumbags and more stealing their purses right off their fucking belts. Like, it's a good fun time. I like Garrett. He doesn't have a ton of lines. He's got a ton of personality though, that comes through mostly in the little quips he makes in the levels.
That's kind of my favorite part of his character is those little asides he gets when you find something cool in a level.
Mm-hmm. The plot, I wouldn't call the plot thin. I would just say that, it's a game that's more focused on its gameplay and its game than it is on telling a story. It's not like a lot of the games we play where a lot of story happens in, the levels and the dungeons in between. It's a little plot thin in that regard, but I think it's a fun little story that starts off, this guy's trying to make his rent. And by the end, he's had his eyeball ripped out and he's got to fight the devil. Like, it goes in places you really don't expect, even though it's a video game. So you kind of should expect it. But like, I think when Constantine turns into the fucking pan or whatever, it's a real shocker. Like, wait, what? My eyeball? I wish that in the last levels when you were missing an eye, they would have made your depth perception way worse somehow. Suddenly you can't shoot that bow for shit. It would have made it a lot harder though. Anyway, overall, Roundly 4, and really glad that we finally played it on the show. I have wanted to play this game on the podcast with you guys for a long time, mostly because I thought you guys would enjoy it. And I really, as much as I have been giving her a lot of shit, then she's not around to defend herself, which is not super fair. I really thought that Vanessa was going to love this game, Like, she loves those Dishonored games. She loves stealth. And I really thought this was going to be I thought that Vanessa was going to be the one that came through this season and was going to be like, that kicked ass.
In like 6 months, Vanessa's going to get bored and she's going to be like, maybe I'll try Thief. And then she's going to be like, oh, I really like this game. And then you're going to yell at her.
Yeah, I am. I mean, if you want to know the truth, the reason why I've been kind of hard on her is because, not that I'm mad at her for not playing a game, I don't care, but I'm really disappointed because I really thought she was going to be I really thought this was going to be something that she was going to really love, and I didn't feel like she gave it much of a chance, and that bummed me out.
I think in most circumstances she would love it. I just think it's not the game that she wants to play right now.
Yeah. And I like the bit that we've had for the last couple episodes where she's Marge Simpson, basically, when she's not on the show.
Matt, I don't want to steal stuff.
Anyway, Roundly for the game. Really enjoyed it. Glad we finally played it on the show. And I hope you're all looking forward to Thief 2 The Metal Age in, 2 years. That's it. Well, before we go, we've got one more little segment that we have pushed to the back of the episodes in the last couple of seasons, and that is our level up. Johnny.
Hey.
Why don't you tell me how you leveled up?
Okay, well, I've been playing a lot of
Go pee.
immersive sims. I finished BioShock for the Switch. It is a good port.
Oh, do you like the little green Bob thing, or do you think that that's not a good addition to the series after the first game? Or do you ever take somebody and leave them in the pool and then take the ladder away?
Oh, immersing the Sims in water. That did come. There is a Sims 1 and 2 re-release pack that sounds pretty fun. I did play the heck out of Sims 1. I never really played Sims 2. That one I missed out on. Also, there was a sale and all Need for Speed games were like $2 or $3. I don't know if it's still going on the EA. You have to. The thing is that it won't work on Steam Deck unless you do some things because it's a different store, which is annoying. I kind of wish they could just give me Steam code so I could play it on my Steam Deck and not have to like install this whole other front end or whatever. But yeah, those Need for Speed games, like Need for Speed Most Wanted, which is what one of the videos that I'm going to work on after Saints Row 2022, is an interesting game because it's like a full-size game that also came out on Vita, so that's why I've been playing it.
Oh.
Yeah. Other than that, I have been watching Severance. I watched episode 4. It was an interesting episode. It's definitely going.
No.
I'm not spoiling it. I'm saying
Okay.
it reminds me of Twin Peaks. Like, it's going way weirder this season. Way weirder.
I agree.
Which is good, but it's definitely like a little less linear narrative than maybe you're used to. It's a little weirder.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that'll be a change. But yeah, good show. I'm enjoying it. It's exciting. It's fun going back. I've been rewatching season 1 as well. So I've just been doing, like, because I know Matt's rewatching season 1 before he watches the new stuff, but I've just been kind of going back and forth, and it's fine. It's fine.
My big problem is that I can't. Well, I don't really want to get into the details of it, but the details aren't that complicated. I'm not subscribed to Apple Plus or whatever, and I don't really want to sub to it. I have a couple of friends' logins, but I don't want to log in on my tablet because it will.
Yeah,
I've done it before, and it will basically try to merge our fucking accounts.
Yeah,
if you do
so
it on
don't
your
do
TV
that.
or whatever, it's fine. But if you do it on your Apple device, it's a real nightmare. So, and
Just
that's
sign
where
it
I
on
end up
your
watching
Xbox
most.
or whatever.
But that's where I end up watching most movies and television for me is on the tablet.
Yeah,
kind of
I
while
think
I'm
for me, the
working,
Series
particularly
X.
rewatching stuff.
Series X is my habit. Leaving stuff on.
I've got the Apple app is on my smart TV, but it's so rare for me to actually turn my television on and watch TV. It just doesn't happen much. When I'm that free, I'm usually playing PUBG or hanging out with the kids watching what they want to watch, which lately has been a lot of Bob's Burgers and Family Guy.
I needed something
Okay,
to
I
have
wanna
on
watch The
that
Family
is
Guy.
low stakes, and it's been long enough that I'm okay with Parks and Rec again. I think I got really annoyed with Andy Dwyer and Ron Swanson last time I tried rewatching it, but now I could just kind of tune out. It is different now because I really don't. I loved Chris Pratt's character in the first couple of times I watched the show. And now, I just don't like him. I don't like his stupid face.
I still love Parks and Rec and watched it maybe last year. It's still a fun show.
Yeah.
I always skip to the end of season 2 when Ben and
I'm
Adam-
rewatching because I like Mark Brandanowitz. I know it's a different show.
Ugh,
That
gross.
first season
I like
is
Mark
a different show.
Brandanowitz.
ugh,
Yeah.
gross.
But I love his character. Like, he's such a good foil. And
He is. He's like the straight man.
Yeah.
And then like the thing, like I feel like that show, and I guess Ben is kind of the straight man, but kind of becomes more cartoony later.
Yeah.
But like he is such a good straight man in that first season with all these wacky characters, and then the second season it just goes to like Cartoon Town for a long time.
and real, like, the last few
Well,
seasons
so
are
Adam
real
Scott
cartoony.
and Rob Lowe don't show up until like the second to last episode of the second season.
Yeah.
Though before that, you do get that great Louis C.K. episode, which I know you guys both love.
Is that the one where she goes on the date, like the pre-date with Anne?
Oh, is that the one where she goes on a date with Louis C.K. and he insists on masturbating in front of her without her permission?
That's the one. That's the one. And you guys love it.
Oh boy!
And it does actually, that was a joke, but it does have that great episode where, what's his name? Fuck, how am I blanking on this guy's name? He's an SNL guy. He's been in fucking everything.
Oh yeah,
He was in that Los Suspukio show, I think, that Johnny
Oh,
loves.
Yeah, Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen, yeah. He that great episode where he is like a foreign dictator. That one
yes,
is
that's a very good episode.
that's when they really, I think that's when they really start to figure it out, even without
I
Rob
think
Lowe and Adam Scott around.
One of my favorite things about Parks and Rec is when John Glazer shows up as the city council guy.
Which guy is he? Maybe I don't remember.
I think
Is he
he's
Jeremy Jam?
Yes, Jeremy Jam. He's Jeremy Jam.
Oh, I thought that was Nick Kroll.
No, that's John
No.
Glazer.
Kroll is like a local.
He's
Kroll is like a local DJ,
okay.
radio DJ.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
John Glazer. I don't know if you guys ever watch his Adult Swim shows, which was like Delocated, and there was one other one, Delocated. It's like one of the more higher concept shows on there, but goddamn, that show fucking cracks me up. It is.
That was the
so
one where
funny.
he was in like a. It was
in
animated.
Witness. He was in
He was in
that's
Witness
the one
Protection.
that's the one where he's wearing the ski mask the whole time, and
ski
he has
mask.
like a voice modulator on,
Yeah.
but he's like the star of a reality show, and like the whole reality show is him living in New York City while he's in witness protection, evading the mafia. But he's also like the stupidest person in the world, and is constantly like almost blowing his cover and getting murdered, and coming up with like really like he's super broke, and he's like trying to make money from his reality show. And at one point, like he like lives in a hotel. In one episode, he gets kicked out of his hotel, and he's trying to come up with a new business concept, and it's a concept where like New York City is his gym. So he's like just goes to random places in New York City and does pull-ups and push-ups, and eventually he like becomes home. And like the whole time he's like doing this thing that he calls breathing, which is just abbreviating words and trying to sound cool. And nobody likes it. And by the end of the episode, he's homeless, and his son finds him on the street, and he's sleeping, and he has a sign next to him that says "Will breathe for food."
So Jim, how did you
So good.
level up?
Good question, Johnny.
Well, apparently you watched Delocated.
Yeah.
Delocated is so fucking funny. But I recently started another playthrough of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which
Whoa.
I will say is really fun and very well written, and is my favorite depiction of Star-Lord in media, because he's not played by Chris Pratt and does not look like Chris Pratt, which is pretty cool. I also today it was on sale. The premium upgrade for the Game Pass version of Avowed, the new Obsidian first-person fantasy RPG that is releasing on the 18th. But if you paid for the premium upgrade, you can play it 5 days early, which today is 5 days early. So today I played a few hours of Avowed, and it's so good, guys. It's so fun. It's like
cool.
It's like playing. I honestly think it's a little bit more fun than Skyrim. Probably not as expansive, but man, it's a good time. Roaming around a fantasy world and shooting spells at dinosaur men and dwarf bandits. And
is that an immersive sim?
Good question. I don't really know what makes a game an immersive sim.
Well, is it immersive, and is it simulating something?
I mean, it's simulating being a magic.
Is it an
person in a
isekai?
fantasy world. I don't know what that is either.
Matt hates that question.
I fucking hate that. Ugh. It's not that I hate isekai. It's that I hate the way it's misused by idiots constantly. But also, I hate isekais. All of those are terrible.
Also,
would you date a slime in a dungeon if you were a 14-year-old boy who fell through a portal from Narnia?
Also,
Anime's
like,
gotten bad, guys.
Oh,
I don't know if you're aware
that's
of
what
that.
isekai is. I will say that one thing that made me like it even more in this like little first part that I played is I'm pretty sure, I haven't verified this, so I could be wrong. Listeners, let us know if I'm wrong. But I'm like 90% sure the first companion that you get is voiced by the guy who did the voice of Garrus in Mass Effect. So there's a real like nostalgia element to it, and also like he's a big, strong like fish species man warrior guy, and it's pretty dang cool. So Avowed so far, and then like I said, I've only played a few hours, but 2 thumbs up. Was I the last one to level up? John, have you
No.
leveled up? Matt, have you leveled up?
Jim, we've been sitting right here, bud.
Matt, how'd you level up?
Well, I watched a whole show, and that show was called Creature Commandos. Creature Commandos is an animated show that is on Max. It is set in the DC universe and is basically a sequel to the Suicide Squad movie that James Gunn directed. It has Amanda Waller. It has, I can't remember who, is it Steve Agee? I think it's Steve Agee plays. Yeah, Steve Agee plays, I can't remember the name of his character in Suicide Squad or this, but regardless, and and Peacemaker. So I guess it's also kind of a sequel to that. The concept is basically, if you saw that Suicide Squad movie, the good one, Amanda Waller got exposed, and apparently Congress has told her that she can no longer force humans to be soldiers for her little Black Ops projects. And so she decides to do the same thing, but with non-humans. So that is how you get a show that is about the Bride of Frankenstein, a robot named G.I. Robot, Weasel from the Suicide Squad movie, a fish girl, and a man who very much is a human, and I don't know why he was included, and is clearly just somebody who has been subjected to some terrible experiment that turned him into a glowing skeleton.
Dr. Phosphorus?
Dr. Phosphorus. If you liked that Suicide Squad movie, this is very much in that vein, but animated, and I thought it was fantastic. It's very graphic, it's very gory, it's very goofy, it's very fun. It does a great job, other than I think maybe the first episode, which is mostly set up. It does a great job. Oh, and it also has Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr.
Oh, cool.
The father of Rick Flag, who died in the Suicide Squad movie, which is something that's pretty heavily addressed in the plot. And it's pretty good.
You know what? That's interesting that you say that, because just a couple nights ago, I rewatched Captain America Winter Soldier, which has a lot of Frank Grillo in it. Mm-hmm. And I think this came on like as one of those autoplay movies after you finish something else, but the movie Run All Night with Liam Neeson, which stars the guy who played Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah. That's, I can't remember his name.
Me either. But you know what? Honestly, I like that actor a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
He was in that awful RoboCop remake.
I kind of like that RoboCop remake.
Ooh, you shouldn't. Anyway, it does a good job balancing both its kind of ongoing plot, which has a bunch of twists and turns, and each character kind of gets a backstory episode. And they're a bit hit or miss, but some of them were fucking fantastic. Shockingly, the one about the weasel, really fucking good. And the one about G.I. Robot, a robot from World War II that is programmed only to kill Nazis, also has a fantastic backstory episode. I did not expect this week to see a robot slaughtering a room full of Nazis to coin-operated boy. It kind of made my whole day that day. It was really fun. It was good stuff. Anyway, I know Johnny piped up when I was talking about it to mention that he does not like hard R graphic superhero stuff. He's nodding his head. Mm-hmm. He's giving me double birds. He just pulled his dick out. Johnny, that's not how we show.
John, what is the line for you on that, out of curiosity? Because I feel the same as you, but I'm not really sure how to articulate what it is I don't like about it.
I don't... Like, where the gore is a joke is probably... I don't like that. I don't think it's that funny. But, like, the Fallout show had plenty of that. And I still like the Fallout show, but it was kind of in spite of that. I was like, okay, I can't eat while watching this Fallout show. And that's the big thing for me is I watch TV shows while I'm having dinner. And if it's disgusting, I can't watch it.
Actually, as far as that's concerned, I'm the same when it like I'm not watching some gory nonsense while I'm trying to eat, man.
Oh, me either. I'm super squeamish. I'm very squeamy.
I also just don't find gore funny, and I don't I get annoyed that like that's a thing so many shows lean on now, and it's weird.
It's funny that you say that because the kids and I recently. I shouldn't say the kids, it's my daughter, but the oldest. Excuse me. My daughter recently has been talking about, she had been watching American Dad, and now she's definitely of an age where she had never really watched much Family Guy and didn't even know that it was a spinoff of Family Guy. Had no idea that it was made by the same person, like knew nothing. But she said that she was really enjoying it, but then as it like the later seasons, the more recent seasons, it really just started leaning on gore for the jokes all the time, and she really fell off of it. And I noticed it's not all of it, but we've recently been watching Family Guy, which John hates and is chastising me with this, he's wagging his finger at me as I say it. But it's funny, it's weird how I've noticed that that's been doing it too. Like, we're not watching it season by season, episode by episode. It's just kind of whatever's on, on Comedy Central that night or whatever. But we'll get episodes where I'm just like, it's just all gore jokes. Like, it's just all people getting torn to shreds or getting cut to pieces. And like, why? It's not that funny. Anyway, we've gone off topic here. Creature Commandos, I really did enjoy it. It had a lot of heart. That jam's gun. That guy knows how to write a fucking story. Like, love his aesthetic or not. And here's hoping that he definitely shakes things up for the goddamn Superman movie that he's written and directed. That Creature Commandos show, if you like Suicide Squad, if you like Peacemaker, it is right up the alley of those shows. And I really did enjoy it. And it was only 7 episodes, which, you know what? That's fine. Tell your story and wrap it up.
I liked Peacemaker, but it was bordering on like what's the right term for it? Like gratuitously violent and sexual. Like,
I mean, I don't know how you can say it was bordering on that. Like, it was that. So was that Suicide Squad movie. Like, this is the guy that wrote fucking did Romeo and Juliet. This is his bread and butter.
I don't think Suicide Squad was. Like, Suicide Squad is definitely violent, but like it wasn't. I guess there's a lot of one thing that I guess kind of like repels me from stuff like that is like when characters are legitimately cruel to people that don't deserve it. Like like me shooting this innocent person in the head is played for laughs. I hate that shit.
Yeah. I mean, Suicide Squad has that whole bit where they go through like Rambo style, or no, it's Predator style. It's a riff on Predator where they go through to rescue whoever they're trying to rescue. And it's Rick Flag. And they slaughter this rebel army or whatever. And then when they get to Rick Flag, he's sitting there having a beer with the leader. And it's like, oh, this is my buddy. And they're just kind of like, oopsie. But we killed 100 dudes.
But all of that like adds up to a payoff for a joke. When you're just wantonly being cruel to characters, like minor characters that don't deserve it for no reason. That's what I don't like. Where it's just this character being cruel to other characters for no reason. I don't like that. And there's no payoff.
Anyway, I really enjoyed Creature Commandos. My other level up is I did download and play a bit of the Lonely Mountain. What's it called? Snowfields? Snow something? The Lonely Mountain sequel. This one is a downhill skiing game instead of a downhill mountain bike game.
What are you talking about?
Johnny knows.
Yeah, there's that Lonely Mountain downhill game that was really fun. It was a bike game where you go downhill. It was like super primitive looking, like non-textured, flat shaded 3D graphics, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
It's like Trials, but more
that
isometric.
Retro polygon style.
Yeah.
Lonely Mountain was about downhill bike. That wasn't mountains, really. It was hills. It was mountains. Biking. And Lonely Mountain Snow Riders is the sequel. And instead of being on a bike, you are on skis, but it's the same idea. You start at the top of a mountain, and you have to work your way down to the finish line.
Is it on Game Pass?
It reminds me it is on Game Pass. It reminds me a lot of the Trials games. Mm-hmm. It's fun. It's a good time. Much like Lonely Mountain, the controls are, I think, intentionally like not great. Not great, but like I don't know how to describe it. Not super tight, but that's kind of the idea. You know, you basically just have a left and right axis with your analog stick. And it is fun. It is not necessarily hooking me quite like Lonely Mountain did, or something similar like the Trials games did. This new Lonely Mountain, I find myself playing it for very short increments before I'm like, ugh, fuck this. But I think it's well worth the download. It's beautiful for sure. That low-res polygon aesthetic, like PS1, looks fantastic. The lighting effects on the snow, it's gorgeous. Yeah, it's a good time, and it is on Game Pass, Johnny. So I would love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I'll download it tonight.
It's a good pick up and play for 15 or 30 minutes type of game, you know? And sometimes that's all you need. Anyway, that is how I leveled up. Before we go, we need to plug our Patreon. Whoa, we have a Patreon, guys. The Patreon, patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. Come join us. We release monthly bonus episodes, except January.
What? The January
I guess that did
episode
get
is
released,
out.
didn't
You
it?
can listen to
No,
it
it's
right
out.
now.
It's out now. Yes, our January episode got delayed due to Vanessa getting sick.
Forgetting?
Forgetting?
Sick. Getting sick.
It's a mix. But the Case of the Golden Idol episode is up now. Next month, February, this month, I guess, we are actually going to do a deeper dive on Avowed. We are not going to play the whole game. It's coming out late in the month, and it's a short month, so we're only going to have a few days to do it, but we're going to all play a bit of it and then have a real chit-chat about it. So look forward to that. You can get those bonus episodes at the $3 level. We also have a $5 tier that allows you to vote on upcoming games, like our next game that's starting next week, Sonic the Dark Chronicle Brotherhood, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yay!
Yeah.
I had in both the Facebook and the Discord, I had a lot of people be like, you guys could be playing Baldur's Gate 2. We didn't vote on the game, my friends. Why are you taking it out on me? I agree. But I am glad Veilguard didn't win. I'd rather play Sonic.
Oh, really quick, and I know a lot of our listeners have already tuned out, but when I mentioned playing Avowed and being relatively sure that the first companion was the guy, is the guy that also voiced Garrus, confirmed. That is definitely Garrus' voice.
Whoa.
That's the same dude.
Well, didn't
and
someone
his
say
name
that they're
is
kind of the same
Brandon
world?
Keener.
Like, unofficially, there's some world links between the city and Dunwall and stuff?
Like in Thief?
Yeah, that there's lore hooks that, like in books in Dishonored, that relate to Thief. Like little
Oh.
Easter eggs.
I don't know about
it's not
that.
the
Maybe.
same developer, right?
No, so it can't be official.
I don't think they have the rights.
Yeah, but you can still make...
Dishonored is an Obsidian game, though, isn't it?
Dishonored is no, it's the other guys, the ones that did Prey, Arcane.
Arcane, that's right. I get Arcane.
Yeah,
and
they don't
Obsidian
have the
mixed up.
rights to it, but I mean, you don't have to have the rights if you're not
To
making
like,
direct.
yeah, you don't need. You can still allude
Yeah.
to another franchise. Yeah,
Like that's how in before that's how the Quantum Break stuff gets into Control. They make a reference to it without you. They don't have the rights to it, so they can't say
yeah.
they can't say it's Quantum Break guy, but they make references to it.
Also, looking at Garrus voice actors IMDb, he also did voices in Dishonored 2.
Well,
They're all linked.
yeah.
They're all linked. Anyway,
Anywho, that's our Patreon.
Anywho, sir.
And one thing that we always do every episode is thank our listeners. And I will start us off, or thank our patrons, rather. Well, thank you to our listeners that aren't patrons as well. We love you. But we thank our patrons. And I'll start us off by thanking Wake Up Call, Make It Hatben, Ian Frederick, Nawford, Sergeant Spaghetti, Chad Wilson, Robert T., Addicted to the Smell of Natty Ice, Chris Penyak, Sean Walsh, and Amanda Douglas.
I'd like to thank John B. Quaker Oatman, Ward Childress, Wedgecoon, Rubber Bear, Florian Jonas Kramer, Brian Pitt, Johnny Five Alive, Sean Gonzalez, Justin Ham, and David Arnold.
I would like to thank Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Tracy the Board Queen, Isaac Wright, Wash in the Wind, Stephen Paget, Eterol, Garrett of Thivia, The Filcher, Andy Best, Doom Train, and Julie. All right, that's it for this.
Little late breaking news. We did send pictures of the ape men to Vanessa and demand that she give us her hot take on what animal that is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And she said lizard monkey.
Wow.
Which,
Oh.
I'm going to be honest with you, didn't help. I'm going to stick with Ratman. I like Ratman. It's creepier. Rats are creepier than lizards or monkeys.
Yeah, they look like little imps at this point, like with the little little nightcrawler tail and everything. They do look like a little imp.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to send us an email, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Actually, one of the ideas for the next game after Sonic actually came from an email that we recently got and discussed yesterday. So these emails matter. If you'd like to send us an email, that will matter. squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come join our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Sorry, John.
Sorry for interrupting you. I actually am not against it. I didn't want to sound like I was against it. I was just wanting to note it is a very long game.
I know it's a long game, but it's also super fun and funny.
Yes.
I feel like it would make for a really fun series, actually.
I agree. I would be totally fine with that if that is your choice.
Yeah. Also, you can find us on Blue Sky at squarerootspod.bsky.social. John, should they rate and review and subscribe?
Yeah. How about, hey, listeners, if you're still listening, go open up one of your listening apps, like your Podbeans or your Downloadabots or your RSS thing, and then give us 5 stars, and then go to Reddit and be like, hey, have you heard this Square Roots podcast? It's amazing. Anytime anyone's asking for a podcast recommendation, we can't do it because we'll just get downvoted to hell, but you can do it because Reddit likes you. They don't like me or Matt. They like Vanessa.
All right.
Vanessa likes to share her 1,000 upvote Reddit posts with us.
Yeah, the 2 that she has, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and thanks to Stephen Morris for our music. Sorry, Jim.
Oh, yeah. All right, no, you're fine. For Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm
Vanessa. I'm Vanessa.
I'm sorry, Vanessa. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Jimmy.
I'm Vanessa. Matthew, don't eat that pie. Homie. Bye.
I'm Johnny.
Bye.
I don't know what I think my brain's a little off today. I find that idea of Vanessa telling you not to eat a pie very funny.
I don't know. Do you think they expected it to, though?
Weren't there also 2 different System Shock remakes? There was the Night Dive one and then a different one.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. There's the recent one. That's all I know.
That's a Night Dive one, right?
I don't know.
Is it? You're the one that played the fucking thing.
I guess I could just check my Steam account.
No, it is. Okay, it is Night Dive. What's the one that I've been playing then?
So you said you were playing System Shock 2, right?
Yeah, but I took footage of both because, I'm thorough. Thorough, Matt. I'm thorough.
So you didn't play the remake, you played the original.
I played the one by Night Dive. Or a one by Night. They might have done 2 different versions? I don't know. I'm very confused. This wasn't the recent re-release. I'm very confused.
What's going on?
Well, Matt, sometimes my brain no good. Yeah, this is not what I played. I'm looking at this remake. That's not what I played. This looks way too modern compared to what I played.
So there's this is the System Shock remake is the second remake? Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Of that game?
Yeah, let me see what it's called. Maybe it's called Remastered instead of Remake. Matt, this is very confusing and not very interesting.
The one by Night Dive looks to be the new one.
Yeah, they're the remake people. They only do like
Oh,
remakes.
okay. So when did this is the enhanced edition that I played?
Yeah, that sounds right.
When did that one come out?
Came out a while ago.
Okay. System Shock enhanced. I will edit this out. 2015. Okay. That makes sense. All right. I want to play the remake. It looks cool.